Hey guys, I'm Morthadon, and we are back for My Hero Academia Vigilantes, Season 1, Episode 7. So, last time we learned that Stendhal is actually Stain, and I didn't really talk about the symbolism, but his nose got hurt, which it probably would have been fixable. I don't think he had to cut it off the way that he did, but the reason why he did it was he was wearing a mask before, and he kind of seemed like he only really became Stendhal when he put the mask on, right? But he wanted to confirm his resolve, so he cut off his own nose to make his face permanently be the mask that he puts on, right? Essentially. So that way he's like resolving himself to this mission of his permanently with that permanent mark. So yeah, I thought that was really neat. Other than that, we had some discrimination stuff against Soga, like people calling him a villain, which I felt really bad when we had the similar situation with Shinso in the original series. I didn't feel as bad this time because the way they framed it kind of made it feel like he did a lot of things to deserve the way that he was treated, and then he got mad at the way that he was treated. But I'm hoping we maybe learn more, but I do feel bad, like, I don't think he deserves to be, like, killed by Stain for like the petty crimes that he's done. Doesn't deserve execution, right? And it seems like he's trying to seek help and do a little better in the situation. So I sympathize with him in that regard. I just don't feel bad for his past, where it seems like he beat people up and then got mad that people got mad at him for doing it, you know? So anyway, let's jump into this episode and see what happens. We're gonna start here in 5, 4, 3, 2, 1, now. Glad you're introducing yourself now. In episode 7. The birth of Vigilantes as well. Man, that's a nice lunch. Who are you? I think she's in the opening, isn't she? Who are you, random girl that just sits down and starts talking? She looks older, doesn't she? She looks like she'd be like a teacher. Is she an upperclassman? She's very pretty, though. Yay! Makoto. Oh no. Is it because of the Vigilantes? Is she, like, investigating them or researching them? Okay. Yeah, I mean, I'm pretty sure she's in the opening, right? So... Which is kind of concerning because I don't want to pretend like I didn't see it. Because it does seem like it shows her with Tsukiyuchi, right? So I wonder if she has any relation with the police. That's like the vibe I got from the opening anyway. Or she's like a news reporter or something. Because we like have our whole team here shown her. Yeah, right there. There's a shot of her with Tsukiyuchi. I guess there's a whole bunch of other combinations of people. So maybe not. Like, Knuckle Duster was shown with Tsukiyuchi, so... Although there could be a connection between them that we don't know. Like, maybe Knuckle Duster was a cop. That dude seems like an American. Yep, there's her again. And I think that's why, right there, she had like a notebook, right? So it seemed like she might have been a reporter. That might have been what I saw that made me think reporter. Professional. A person engaged in a specific activity as a main occupation rather than a pastime. Oh no, is he gonna bring her home? Oh no. Poor Pop Step. Is she just gonna peace out? Oh no, Pop Step. Oh no, she's gonna hide the whole time? Okay, so she's not coming in. Oh, this is gonna be so awkward. How do they not know that? Why is she helping so much? Man, she just came in and just took over the scene, didn't she? Hmm. Mm-hmm. Okay. So so they turned vigilantes into legal heroes and then more vigilantes. Ooh, interesting. Rhode Island, what a wild place. Sorry guys, I had to take some ibuprofen. Getting a bit of a migraine. Jeez. Hey, is that the guy from the opening? Oh, interesting. Hmm. I could see that being an argument. This is some lecture. Damn. She's smart. Personal space lady. What? Ah, interesting. Does she know he's the crawler? I mean, he doesn't really hide it very well. Hmm. Why did she go to him for this if she doesn't already know? What? Well, that's awkward. She is very, yeah, I was gonna say abrasive. Like, she's pushy. Oh, man. Oh, interesting. Oh, shit! They had the same last name. Husband and wife? Sister. Okay. Not married. Not even close to that. Hmm. Do they have quirks? I've always wondered that about Tsukiyuchi. To be fair, you made the choice to hide from her, not... It wasn't like he told you to hide from her. Nice. Hmm. Awesome. She's just angry that the girl came by. So she is an upperclassman. She looks so old. Not to be mean, but like she makes Koichi look like a child, you know? Oh my god. I never expected when we started the show and met Pop Step to think that she'd be into Koichi like this. Enough to be like this jealous and everything. If he's the bodyguard and uses his quirk, it should be very clear who he is. This is a problem. Unless it's just gonna be like a Superman. Like, I don't know. But if Clark Kent used Superman powers, people would realize. Is this gonna be like Spider-Man taking pictures of himself? Where he like schedule like either tries to keep them away or like oh. So maybe talk to the public more than actually like meeting them in person. Hmm. Okay. A dialogue heavy episode. I mean, it's fine, but I feel like I'm not reacting a lot because I'm trying to like just take in everything they're talking about. Your ad here, nice. Of course, these guys. The crawler. I forgot they know his identity. Aww. Oh no. Oh my god. Oh my god. Jesus. Like, I mean, just cut away. Oh my god, they got her. Punched to death. Her butt, and she's cute. It just. Oh. I guess it is, like, weird the way that he moves. I will say. Oh my god! Is he. Yeah, the dribbling is. Why? Why is he doing this? Quirk soccer? That's a quirk? That's our explanation? What? Frickin' pop step. Alright. So he's been working on knocking out legs, and we have a guy that uses his legs, so I guess we'll see how that works out for him. Yeah, he dodged it. I mean, this guy probably has very good leg spatial awareness. Oh, shit! Damn! I love these little middle schoolers that just help out randomly. Get her laptop. Oh, nice. He saved it. Put your glasses on, my guy. Or something. You just look like you in a hoodie. I'm involved. Let me through. Oh, he already changed back. Okay. At least they're honest. They are not good wingmen, though. Hmm. Oh! Oh no, she has some truth power! Polygraph! He's not, he's the crawler, not the crawler. She asked the wrong question. Right? Is that why it happened that way? Hmm. Nothing but butt. Let me see more ass. Oh my god. Forget it. Poor Knuckle Duster just having to deal with that. That was an interesting episode. I will say, it lost me a little bit with some of the dialogue. I liked what they talked about. I liked the, you know, some of the lore tidbits, right, of the origination of Heroes when Quirks first showed up was it started in Rhode Island where we had Vigilantes and they were trying to legalize the Vigilantes, which created the hero system. And it was, you know, people speculate it was just as much to create heroes as it was to label bad guys as villains, right? So that's interesting because we've had a lot of, you know, in the My Hero show, this whole universe, there's been a lot of controversy over villains and heroes and, you know, why someone gets labeled as a villain. Last episode we just had like the Yakuza saying like they're just being labeled as villains even though they were like labeled differently in the past. So it was interesting. Um But hmm. Other than that, there was like a lot of other stuff being said that I will admit I might not have followed it as much as I maybe should have, but that is it, guys, for episode 7. Alright. Um, but yeah, like, there were some lines where I started to, like, really lose it, and, like, I think I kind of spaced out a little bit, just, like, my mind just started thinking about other stuff. Like, I don't really feel like I have ADD or ADHD, whichever one it would be. I'm not really familiar, I've never been diagnosed or anything, but I think just sometimes I don't want to say bored because I still really like the show and I really like the episode, but it was just hard to keep my, it's kind of like when you read a textbook, right? When you're reading a textbook and you get through a few sentences and then you just keep on reading, but then you realize like everything after the first couple sentences you like don't remember reading. If that makes sense. It's kind of like how I felt about parts of this episode. But meeting Makoto was really interesting. It's interesting that she's the sister of Tsukiyuchi, which I really wonder if he has that polygraph power too, because that's kind of a cool power to have as a detective, right? But it's also a cool power to have as some kind of like reporter of some kind. But yeah, really interesting. She goes to the same college as Koichi. She seemed to have a pretty good theory that he was the crawler, right? It makes sense. It's not hard to figure out. He used the same quirk to go around as himself and also do vigilante work for a while, right? Like several times we've seen him as just himself going around and using that power. So it's like when you see someone using the same quirk as the vigilante that's going around, it's not like, sure, we did see another like slide and glide person or whatever they were in that one episode. So like, sure, there is other people that are like that have similar quirks we've seen, but yeah, I really wonder, like, is she gonna doubt her? Like, she already did doubt her power a little bit. She's like, did I lose my touch? You know? Um, but it's a really funny workaround that everyone calls him the Crawler, and he's supposed to be, but he identifies as the Crawler. So it's weird because I really wonder how that works. It seems like a really fine line because for me, there'd be a part of me that like I know who she's talking about, so I'd feel like yes, I am the crawler, right? But then there's that technicality of like, no, it's the crawler, but he didn't correct her there, right? So obviously he's not going to because he's trying to keep it a secret and whatnot. But I don't know. I found that really interesting of how even in his own mind, he was able to convince himself that, like, because whenever everyone else calls him the crawler, he knows that they're talking about him. So it's just weird that he didn't think that way when she said it, if that makes sense. For the sake of her polygraph, like, I feel like it would still cause a blip, but anyway. Really, really funny workaround. I did want to go back. It was when they were interviewing all the people. It was very brief, but I didn't catch what the girl said. Oh, there it was. I thought it was around here. There's this older guy wandering around lashing out at people. Scary stuff. Okay, I was just curious what Hachisuka was saying about. It's interesting that, I mean, she's just everywhere. She's just roaming around all the time in this general vicinity, so but yeah, there was some of those where I kind of skimmed too. I get these migraine, like something else that happened this episode that made it kind of hard to follow along with like every single bit of dialogue. Just to let you guys know, I every now and then I get these migraines. I don't really know what they're called, but like I get like almost like when you look into a light and you see like the lingering remains of the light when you look away. It's almost like that, where it's kind of like a, I don't know how to explain it, but it's almost like a rainbowy static in my vision, and then it's followed by a really bad headache. And I kind of self-diagnosed it because I'm too cheap to go to the doctor. And so every now and then I get those, and they do say that's like a form of migraine. Uh, so that's why I took ibuprofen in the middle of the video, which I don't normally do. But I was having that issue where I had that in my vision, and it actually makes it kind of hard to read the subtitles sometimes. I was able to read majority of it, but there were a few lines where like that little bit of static like covered some of the words, and like I think I was still able to read most of it, but it was like kind of distracting, which also might have helped with or might have been part of the reason why I got a little distracted. I should really go to the doctor and try to see if there's like, if it's just something that happens, or if there's anything I can do about it, or what. But it's just, I live in the US and our healthcare system's shit, and I don't want to spend the money. They only happen like once or twice a month, so I just deal with them. So, but anyway, um, we had like that weird soccer player guy. That was interesting. I kind of wish Koichi got him as well. It seems kind of silly that the kids like sure Koichi distracted him a little bit, but with all the training Koichi's done, these random middle school kids just used their quirks and did it. You know, like the joke was funny of it being like, oh, the crawler didn't really do anything, you know, but like at the same time, he's this vigilante that's been training, and he still can't catch one dude, even after they built up the idea of him like figuring out the whole like tripping thing and these different motions. And it's just, it like, I don't mind it. It's just, it's a much different show where I'm used to like my hero with Midoriya learning how to do these different things and then putting them into practice, and actually seeing him be able to take down some villains as he learns and grows his strength. Whereas it almost feels like Koichi's in almost the same place as when we started this 7 episodes ago. Granted, it has only been 7 episodes, you know, it took Midoriya quite a few episodes before he was useful as well, so, like, I don't want to, like, bash too much, but I guess maybe I'm interpreting this the wrong way. This feels like a smaller story to me, and maybe that's my problem. Maybe I shouldn't be thinking about it that way, and I might be hindering my own experience of the show, where I feel like they'd only get like a season or 2 out of this story, but maybe I'm wrong and this goes on a long time and we're building up to something bigger. Also, his power doesn't have nearly the potential of Midoriya's either, so there's that aspect as well. And I'm really curious where this, if the story does go for more than a few seasons, I really wonder where it goes, because like I said, it feels like there's only so much growth our characters can make, with one seemingly being quirkless, the other one having a quirk that just lets him slide around, so like, yes, he can learn some tricks and learn how to use it better, and all that, but there seems to be a limit there. And then Popstep doesn't really fight, she just kind of leaps around and scouts for the team, which is fine. Nothing wrong with any of their quirks and what they're doing. I actually really respect that, despite their limited power, they're going around and being vigilantes. I'm just wondering, because like typically with shonen type shows, there's an escalation of power where things get more and more dangerous as the show goes on. But I wonder how that works with the vigilantes that don't seem like their powers can scale like they normally would in a shonen, right? So it's really fascinating. But I really love the show, and I'm excited to watch more and learn more. But yeah. Anyway, very cool stuff. Makoto seems interesting. She's very beautiful, but I almost expected her to be like a teacher or something. And like Koichi said, she's very pushy, which is interesting. The introvert side of me kind of likes that, you know, because I'm like, you know, like, yeah, be pushy with me, because I can't make decisions very well for myself, and and I'm not good at communicating stuff, so I wish I could have like a girl come up to me and be so like, doesn't mean she has to be like into me, right? But like be the one to spark conversation and talk to me because I'm not good at reaching out and talking to people, you know. So I kind of like respect that aspect of Makoto's personality, even though if it was turned on 24/7, I could find myself not liking that in the long run, right? So, but I imagine she's not like, she was like that because she's like essentially trying to be like write a paper. I don't know if she's planning on being a reporter or whatnot, but she's trying to get the information she went to Koichi to look for. So I understand why she's being more pushy. Whereas if it was like a more relationship type thing, maybe she would be like, you know, she'd tone it down from like 11 to like a 5 or something. I don't know. But anyway, very cool stuff. I don't really have much more to say. I'm really interested to see where this goes with Makoto, and, you know, we know Tsukiyuchi's take on Vigilantes, so if Makoto finds out who they are, will Tsukiyuchi try and, like, request her information, and how does, like, the investigation and stuff all tie in and mesh with our characters and all that. So, yeah. Thank you guys so much for watching. Hit that subscribe button if you enjoyed. Check out my Patreon if you want to see more. There's 2 episodes ahead of time on there through the early access tier. And then there's shows that are specific only to my Patreon until they get slowly released. But you can catch things like Free Run, Solo Leveling, and Dan to Dan, as well as The Expanse if you're into live action. So check all that out. Links in the description should be popping up on the screen, and I will see you in my future reactions.